and this is the Wrestling Matters podcast. Thanks for being back with us. Sorry for a little time off, but we're back to work, and been a little busy coaching, working, still involved in the sport, and still soaking it up, and still having news for you guys. Make sure to tune in to our Instagram at Wrestling Matters Podcast for more updates on the sport. But with no further avail, let's get right into it today. We're going to be discussing some of the rule changes in wrestling and some of the rule changes some of the media and coaches are looking for. And then we're going to go over just a couple of my Final X thoughts. I'm going to briefly run down each weight from Final X Stillwater and Final X New York, and take a look at who's on our senior world team. I will also briefly run down the junior world team members, and then at the end I'll have a graphic with the U23 national champions, and that leads me to go right into our first rule change in wrestling. And I'm not gonna I didn't post the U23 guys because I usually announce it as world team members, and winning the U23s does not mean you get to go to U23s necessarily anymore. And that's the first rule change that we're going to talk about, and that's that if you make the U.S. national team, right? If you make the U.S. national team, that means you place top 3 at the senior level for trying to make the senior world team for wrestling in the United States. So you have your representative, for example, Jordan Burrows. You have the Final X runner-up, who's your alternate, which would be Chance Marsteller. And then you would have whoever wrestled for True Third. I don't remember who won True Third at the weight. Maybe give me Carter Starace. Actually, Carter Starace, 2-time national champion for Penn State. So Starace's the True Third. So he's on the national team here. So since Carter Starace is on the national team, he actually has the opportunity to compete at U23s and skip Dustin Plott, who won the U23 national title at 79 kilograms, who's a young cat out of Oklahoma State who wrestles there. And Starace had words. He said he didn't see it. He doesn't care who he is. He said he'd wrestle him off if he wants to. But Starace said that he felt like it was his business to handle, and none of those guys could beat him. And if they wanted the spot, they would have came to do the whole thing like he did and win senior. So that's a debating point for everyone. If someone makes the senior national team, should they be allowed to take the U23 spot? I don't know. I'll tell you what I do know, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is that, okay, Starace was the True Third. He's on the national team, so he should wrestle for Team USA. If he's under 23, send him to U23s. Okay, I understand. Maybe I'd want to wrestle off, but I understand that. My issue personally, and I could personally be wrong, it's just Wrestling Matters podcast. I don't have a guest on today, so you're going to hear me rant a little bit and ramble. But, so our 65 kilogram senior U.S. freestyle representative, Yanni Diakomahalis, recently announced that he's going to take the U23 spot. But this is how I feel, is that Yanni is I believe a cadet or a junior world champion, maybe both. I'm not sure. I don't want to get that mixed up. I'm pretty sure Yanni Diakomahalis is a cadet world champ. But either way, it's like, bro, once you're on our senior team and you're going to the world championships and you're young, so to me, once you're under 23 and you've made multiple world teams, I've seen you wrestle at Final X multiple times. I don't need to see you at U23s. Now for him, now it's not about me. It's not about me. It's Yanni's opportunity that is earned. But to me, if you're going to the World Championships, do that. So he's gonna do the Senior World Championships, the U23s, and then he's gonna come back and wrestle and try to get his 4th NCAA title. I respect the guy. I respect the greatness that he's chasing. But I almost feel like if he really focused and poured into those world championships, he'd be a world champ or bring back a world medal. It's tough for America at that weight. I don't know why we've been struggling there, but I always felt like Yanni would be the guy to get us a medal or a gold there. But it's going to take a little work. You know, maybe he gets more experience at U23s and gets him closer. But I feel for Cole Matthews from Pitt, you know. But he has a stop sign and he has more opportunities. And I'll look to see him at the senior level in the future. And they'll be able to scrap when the time is right. So yeah, that's the first thing. So if you place top 3 in the seniors, you can slide down and take a spot. Like no world team trials, you could just go take a spot. So I know Strachey is going to. I don't know if Dayton Fix will do the 61 kilograms, but see if you lose that final X, I understand if you go to U23s. I just don't understand why Yanni would win and still go to U23s. But that's none of my major business. It's just wrestling news that in a talking discussion point that I figure I'd present to you guys. I saw in the interview on Flow, Cole Matthews is like, Yanni, don't take the spot. He just thought, he just won the bracket. And it's like, come on, bro. You're going on the senior world team. And I know what I know about Yanni is Yanni should be able to win the senior worlds, and he knows that. So to me, good problems to have domestically. Lots of guys getting good wrestling in, and these guys are young, so they'll be able to scrap plenty years down the road. Nothing really controversial about it, just a talking point. Another rule change, and now switching from freestyle world teams to college wrestling, NCAA Division I wrestling. Freshmen can compete attached to the university. I believe it's up to 4 times. Is it 5 or 4? I believe you could compete on 5 different events, 5 different dates, and still not bring your red shirt. So what that means is that, for example, maybe Ohio State, they could roll out with a Mendez at 41 and a tough dual meet, and they could see, maybe he's not big enough. We keep him in red shirt. Or you see, oh wow, he's ready. We can let him go. Or you can use your freshman to win a duel and maybe not even necessarily pull their red shirt for the season. So that's exciting news. It's very progressive for the sport of wrestling. Very great news as far as the red shirts. These guys are going to be able to wrestle some attached without necessarily burning their red shirt. So we'll get a better idea of who's ready to go or not. And I think it'll be good for the sport and for the depth of wrestling in the United States. Just like, almost a little different. I think the rule in freestyle almost kind of hurts the depth in USA Wrestling, but it is good for the depth. It's a testament to the depth. I don't know if it's a good thing for it, but it's a testament to it, and this is also going to be a good thing for the depth, and we'll be able to witness the testaments to the depth as we get to see some of these freshmen that sometimes don't get to pan out if you don't get to use them early enough, because they're not used to the time off. And there's good open tournaments that these guys get to, but sometimes they don't get the coaching and the camaraderie from the team in those scenarios. But I think that'll be something very progressive for Division I wrestling, with red shirts being able to potentially wrestle for the team, I believe 4 or 5 times within the school year, and not necessarily burning the red shirt, still having the option to still come back and be a freshman the next year. So as we get more details on that, I'll have a better, more thorough explanation. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to contact me, and I can always link you to my sources at the NCAA.com or Flow Wrestling. The other rule there, the guys on Flow are really upset about the grounded rule, and I've heard a couple coaches at the RTC level complain about it, and they're upset with the grounding and the step out rule. Now, some people are advocating for stepping out of bounds to be a point in college wrestling, but it hasn't quite been figured out in freestyle because there's the grounded issue. So if someone steps out of bounds in freestyle wrestling, it's 1. But if you're getting pushed out of bounds and you drop down to a knee and action is grounded, he's going to bring you back up to your feet. So, but then sometimes he'll let you do it, but then sometimes they won't let you game it to a victory, and you'll drop down to a knee and they'll still give him a push out. And you'll look like Marsteller did, and you'll be like, what? I did the exact same thing I did last time. How'd you score it differently? So some people want to get rid of the grounded and just be like, hey, if you stepped out of bounds, you stepped out of bounds. I don't care if you're on a knee or not. What do you guys think? I'm not too one way or the other on this. I just want to present that to you guys as a talking point. Some people want to get rid of the grounded because it's like, hey, if he's on his knees or not, this is the ring, you stay in it, you get pushed out, you give him a point. That's that. I understand why people think that. But once again, these are just opening thoughts and rules changes and rule change ideas that have been presented recently in the sport. Okay, moving along. My Final X thoughts from Juwan on this year's Final X Stillwater in New York. I saw a little separation. I only saw a couple of very dominant people for us. Helen Maroulis was dominant. David Taylor, match 2, was dominant. Sarah Hildebrandt was dominant. So I would say good problems to have, because I saw a little separation. And I think it's a testament to our depth here in America and some of the good things that USA Wrestling has been doing to prepare not only the 1s, but the 2s and 3s to be right there at the level. So first person I'll go over is Jordan Burrows. It took 3 matches for him at Final X. If you're a Burrows fan, does that make you nervous? As a USA Wrestling fan, does that make you nervous? He lost a match to Chance Marsteller. He won in the best 2 out of 3. He won match 1, he won match 3. I believe he lost match 2, 2-2 on criteria. He gave up a takedown on an arm spin and early and didn't quite come back from it. I'm not too worried. I'm under the impression that Chance Marsteller is on the level. So Burrows in 3, we've seen it before. I think he'll be fine. Now, will he get his 7th world title? That is a super question. So he has 6 world and Olympic gold medals. He's tied with John Smith for the most in U.S. history. This year, he gets another opportunity at 79 kilograms to go to the World Championship and try to compete for his 7th. Will Burrows get his 7th? He says he'll compete until 2024. In 2024, he's done. In 2024, he wants to go down to 74 kilograms and give another shot at Kyle Dake. And then he wants to, after he gets through Dake, he wants to get another shot at Zorbek Sidikov from Russia. Now those have been his most difficult tests in recent years. In probably the past 5 years, those are the two toughest guys he's had to wrestle, and those are who he wants to close out his show against. So worst case scenario, he doesn't make the team in 2024 at the Olympic trials, and he'll leave his shoes on the mat and retire as the greatest American freestyle wrestler of all time. So he has 2022, another opportunity to try to get a world title and chase 7 will be this time. The outright lead, if he can get it, if he can get his 7th. I thought he looked sharp enough, but it could be kind of bronzy. You know what I mean? He might have to gear it up a little bit by then. And this was his 11th world team that he's made, so he could be aging a little bit. But overall, I thought he was sharp, and it proves in the fact that he's made his 11th world team. Chance Marsteller is a threat, and he did take match 2, and he's not going anywhere. Moving on to 74 kilograms. Was Dake vulnerable against Nolf? That's the question. In their 2-match series that Dake won in 2 straight matches, there was only 1 takedown awarded, and it was to Jason Nolf. Okay, these matches were close. I believe it was 4-2, 2-1. Dake looked solid to me. He looked human. He looked beatable. I don't know about the field at 74 at Worlds, but he didn't. You're gonna have to get a takedown to beat a Burrows or a Sidikov. He was able to beat Nolf. I won't knock either. They're both goated. Dake, no takedowns at Final X. I ain't mad at you. You know, I don't have an issue with an underhook and a push out point. If he can't stay in the ring with you, then get your win by any means. Stay solid. You don't have to scramble and mix it up with this guy if that's not what you decide to do today, and you're the multiple-time world champ, and you're going to win. So do your thing, Dake. Nolf, I respect Nolf. He gave up the first 7-point move I've ever seen when they wrestled at the Olympic trials. Dake bombed him for 5, and then they gave a caution in 2 for Nolf trying to face up off of his back. And he was getting driven out of bounds by Nolf. So to respond from that, getting tech falled pretty quickly and dominated at the Olympic trials, to now making it a 1-point match, a 1 takedown match, and he's out there getting to his takedowns. I'll say Nolf, just like Chance Marsteller, he's a factor. He's on the level, and he's not going anywhere. So Dake and Burrows, it's not a foregone conclusion. It's not a foregone conclusion that they win world titles this year. It's not a foregone conclusion that they hit or make it to 2024. I see young guys right behind them that are on that, so it'll be fun. Next weight I want to talk about is heavyweight. Hayden, Zilner, and the light heavyweight movement. Hayden Zilner made national teams for us in freestyle and Greco, just to show what kind of a dog he is. That says it in itself. He used to wrestle 92 kilograms, or approximately 202 pounds. He went up to heavyweight and took out world bronze medalist and several-time world teamer Nick Gwiazdowski. Okay, now for those of you guys, I'll try to get a Gwiz graphic up. Boom, Gwiz, been our rep. He's beaten Gable Stevenson at Final X before. He's, like I said, world bronze medalist, 2-time NCAA champ. Wrestled Kyle Snyder in a big match when he went for his third. Zilner had a good game plan from his camp. I was impressed with the shape he came into the series in and his execution. He was shut out match 1. He didn't start pulling his trigger until the last minute of match 2. He got the big Gwiz nice and tired and then started to plug him in with his shots and finish him off. And Hayden Zilner, man, he knows when to go. he knows when to apply the pressure. And some of those finishes, if you get a chance, look at some of those finishes from that Zilner-Gwiazdowski match. Hayden Zilner's a tough cat. He's going to be... The world is just absurd at heavyweight between Zare of Iran and Taha Agul, Olympic gold medalist from Turkey. And then you throw in multiple-time world champ Gino Petriashvili from Turkey. Zilner has his work cut out for him. But I'll say this. I will not count that guy out. Okay? I can't count him out because he took out Gwiazdowski. Nobody had that. Nobody picked that to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, if you had Zilner over Gwiazdowski, you probably were within their camp or you knew something I didn't know. Hey. But Zilner, the upset of Final X of 2022 is Zilner over Gwiazdowski for the spot. Next weight, Jaden Cox, 92 kilograms. It took 3 matches against Nate Jackson. Okay. Couple media questions. Is Jaden Cox fading? Will he have to change his style for this second half of his career? No, I'm joking, guy. He's really young, man. The media, wrestling media is super hard on Jaden Cox. He's a great young man. He's a champ. And he'll continue to be on the level. I think this series went to 3 matches, okay? I think that's more a testament to the evolution of Nate Jackson than it is to a possibility of Jaden Cox fading. Good problems to have domestically as far as debt. Now, did Nate Jackson, talking to the media, did he get in Jaden Cox's head? Did he get a little real estate in his head? Is that how he stole a match? Or is Nate Jackson on the level? Questions to have. Was there a chink in the armor of Cox? Or is Nate Jackson on the level? Up for you to decide. I'm probably going to say that Nate Jackson is on the level. You know, I'm just stirring the pot. Seth Gross, flight issues. He comes in the night before Final X, cuts the weight in the hotel, and he's spitting on the plane, and he's jogging outside the venue. He gets the weight down, and he takes out Dayton Fix, returning world silver medalist, in 3 matches in his own gym at Oklahoma State in Stillwater. That's probably the second biggest upset behind Zilner over Gwiazdowski. That's another match where the grounded situation was kind of interesting. But shout out to Seth Gross. He really did his thing. And Fix is young, and he'll be back. They'll scrap it out. Seth Gross hopefully does well at Worlds. I'm not really sure how how much freestyle experience he has. I know he's been wrestling freestyle for a couple of years, but I don't know about it at that level as far as the guys that would be there, how much he's wrestled those quality of guys. But I'm intrigued. You know, he went and took the challenge. I heard in between match 1 and match 2, he was on the phone trying to figure out his flight back home. He didn't know how he was getting back. He was trying to get that all situated. So as far as the RTCs, man, take care of Seth Gross. Y'all need to, Team USA, book his flights. You know, he's our world team rep. Somebody take care of that for that guy. Zane Rutherford won the spot at 70 kilograms in a war over Jordan Oliver, taking him out in his former home gym at Oklahoma State. Man, this was nuts. I respect both of these guys. They really put their all on the line. You could tell those guys really wrestled like that was like one of their last few times to make a team. They had a sense of urgency, more so than a lot of these matches. Zane and J.O. got after it. J.O. went up her body and tried to let it fly. He didn't come out on top of it, but I respect his heart because he really threw the kitchen sink at Zane Rutherford, and they went to 3 matches, and that was a war. 57 kilograms, Thomas Gilman is on top. Olympic bronze medalist, world champ, and then now he dominates Vito at Final X. This is the guy. This is the guy. This is one of our prime wrestlers. This is one of the guys in USA who's at his peak. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing some of the best of Thomas Gilman you'll probably ever see. I'll wait on Spencer Lee. I keep hearing about how Spencer Lee's gonna come take, you know, with Gilman being a world champ, Olympic bronze, it's like, you know, when he comes, if he comes, when he comes, you know, I'll believe it when I see it. And with all due respect to both parties, until I see someone beat Gilman from here, give me Gilman. And look for him to collect another world title this year in 2022. Now in the first match at 86 kilograms, Zahid Valencia made it very interesting against David Taylor. Was able to keep it close. But in match 2, David Taylor blew him out the water. Zahid was on his knees. David was snapping him on his head all over the place. And Taylor really woke up for match 2 and got going. So that was good to see for David Taylor. Kyle Snyder is going to represent us again at 97 kilograms. Our junior world team. Okay, for freestyle, our junior world team will be led by Nick Bouzakis, who won a 3-match series war with his future teammate Jesse Mendez. They're both class of 2022 commits to the Ohio State University Buckeyes. Bouzakis won the Junior U.S. Open in Las Vegas, and Mendez got 3rd at the Senior U.S. Open, and elected to go to the Junior World Team trials because he's on the Junior World Team last year, and ultimately fell to Nick Bouzakis at 61 kilograms, which is of note, which is approximately 133 pounds. So with the Worlds coming in the fall, I would assume that Bouzakis is going to wrestle 133 for Ohio State, but it may be a little too soon to get all into that as far as Ohio State's lineup. But if you look at this list here, we have some absolute studs on our junior world team, and we should be able to have some success this year. You also see Ben Keeter here, who's a star. He's a star in himself, 3-sport athlete who's committed to Iowa, going to play football and wrestle there. You also see Nick Feldman doing his freestyle thing. He's going to go to Ohio State along with Nick Bouzakis and Jesse Mendez. Facundo from Penn State. I see a young Braden Thompson, Bennett Berge, Jackson Smith. Shout out to Maryland Terrapins. We see you doing your thing. I want to give a big shout out to Max Black, the U20 60 kilogram world teamer. I accidentally had an error in my original graphic on Instagram where I actually posted the winner of the challenge tournament as the world teamer, and that was incorrect. Okay, we'll also list the U23 champs. Some of them will be going to U23 World, some of them won't, depending on the national teams. And, I'm just glad to be back, guys, and that's all for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. Email in the description, Instagram name in the description. Just let me know, man. We're gonna have Brandon Wright, Busy Right Way Wrestling, back on soon. I got in contact with him today. We're gonna get a follow-up on how his brand and club is doing halfway through the year. And if anyone wants to do any interviews or come on the show, let me know. Thank you, guys. This is Juwan the Don from the Wrestling Matters Podcast.